in the heart of Eastern Europe, in a land shrouded in mist and shadow. There lies the legend of a man who became known for his ruthless methods, a ruler both feared and revered. His name was Vlad Dracula, but history would remember him as Vlad the Impaler. Our story begins in the 15th century, in the small kingdom of Wallachia, nestled between the powerful Ottoman Empire to the south and the Kingdom of Hungary to the west. It was here that Vlad III was born into the noble house of Draculesti in 1431, a family destined to rule and defend their homeland. Vlad's father, Vlad II, was known as Dracul, meaning the dragon, after his induction into the Order of the Dragon, a chivalric order established to protect Christendom against the Ottomans. Vlad would later inherit this title, becoming Vlad Dracula, or Son of the Dragon. But while his father's name struck fear, it would be Vlad's actions that would etch his name into legend. Vlad's early life, however, was anything but easy. At the age of 11, he and his younger brother Radu were sent as hostages to the Ottoman court to secure their father's loyalty. Here Vlad was held captive for years, learning firsthand about his enemies' customs, military strategies, and their methods of instilling fear. These years of captivity hardened Vlad. He learned the price of betrayal and the brutality of war. But he never forgot Wallachia, nor the throne that awaited him. When he finally returned to his homeland in 1448, he was determined to claim his place as ruler, no matter the cost. Once he took the throne, Vlad became a ruler of ruthless justice. He believed in absolute control and swift punishment. In a land torn by rival factions and outside threats, Vlad used fear as his weapon, famously employing impalement to punish enemies and criminals alike. He was determined to defend Wallachia against the Ottomans and, at the same time, rid his kingdom of corruption and treachery. Stories of Vlad's methods soon spread far and wide. Some say he would impale entire armies along the borders to serve as a warning to the Ottomans. Others claimed he invited nobles who betrayed him to a grand feast, only to have them impaled right after the meal. Whether fact or legend, these tales fueled his reputation as a ruthless yet fiercely protective leader. During Vlad's reign, the Ottoman Empire was expanding into Europe, posing a constant threat. As a ruler, Vlad knew he was greatly outnumbered. Yet he fought valiantly using guerrilla tactics, hit-and-run attacks, and psychological warfare. Impalement was his signature mark, a reminder to any who would dare threaten his homeland. But beyond the tactics and terror, Vlad was fighting for something deeper, a homeland constantly under siege, a people who needed strength amidst chaos. And though he would be remembered for his merciless methods, he was revered by many in his homeland for his courage and his unbreakable will. To this day, Vlad remains a complex figure. In Romania, he is seen as a hero who defended his people against overwhelming odds. But elsewhere, his legacy has inspired tales of monsters and darkness. It was Vlad's blood-soaked legacy that inspired the 1897 novel Dracula, sparking a fascination with vampires that still endures. But the real Vlad, the warrior prince who fought for his land with brutal determination, is far more complex than fiction could ever portray. In the 15th century, Eastern Europe was a chessboard for powerful empires. The Ottoman Empire sought to expand its borders into Europe. Meanwhile, in the region of Wallachia, a prince rose to power, Vlad III, known as Vlad the Impaler. The Ottomans, under the leadership of Sultan Mehmed II, were on the rise. They had just captured Constantinople in 1453, marking a turning point in history. The empire was hungry for more territory, and Wallachia was in their sights. In 1442, Mehmed sent a formidable army to Wallachia, seeking tribute and submission. Vlad, determined to defend his homeland, refused to bow to the Ottoman Empire. This ignited the first clash between the two powers. The battle that ensued was fierce, with Vlad employing his infamous guerrilla tactics. He lured the Ottomans deep into the mountains, where they faced ambush after ambush. Vlad was a master of psychological warfare. His most notorious tactic was the use of impalement, which instilled terror in the hearts of his enemies. When the Ottomans reached the city of Targovist, they were met with a horrifying sight, a forest of impaled bodies, a gruesome warning against invasion. Despite his bravery, Vlad faced a significant challenge. In 1447, after a series of battles, he was betrayed and forced into exile. The Ottomans temporarily gained the upper hand, but Vlad was not done yet. In 1456, Vlad returned to Wallachia, determined to reclaim his throne. He allied with the Hungarian king, Matthias Corvinus, and launched a campaign against the Ottomans. With a mix of strategic brilliance and ruthless tactics, he regained control of his land. In 1462, Mehmed II launched a full-scale invasion of Wallachia. This time, Vlad's forces were heavily outnumbered, yet his fierce spirit and knowledge of the land gave him an advantage. The conflict culminated in a battle at the city of Brasov. Although Vlad fought valiantly, the Ottomans proved too strong. He was forced to retreat, ultimately fleeing to Hungary once more. But after years of conflict and betrayal, Vlad's story was far from over. His life was a tumultuous saga of power struggles, and as we will see, his death was just as dramatic. In late 1476, Vlad faced a massive Ottoman army determined to crush his rebellion. The two forces clashed near Bucharest in what would be Vlad's final battle. Despite his fierce tactics and knowledge of the terrain, Vlad was heavily outnumbered. It was a desperate struggle, one that would seal his fate. As the fighting raged on, Vlad fought valiantly, but the tide was against him. Legend has it that he fought with unmatched fury, determined not to be captured alive. But what happened next remains shrouded in mystery. Some accounts suggest that Vlad was killed in battle, while others claim he was assassinated by his enemies. The official story varies. Some say he fell to a stray Ottoman arrow, while others argue he was betrayed by his own men. The truth remains elusive, but one thing is clear: Vlad's death marked the end of an era. Following his death, rumors spread like wildfire. His body was reportedly beheaded, and his head was sent to Constantinople as a trophy. Meanwhile, his loyal followers mourned their fallen leader, while his enemies celebrated the fall of a tyrant. Centuries after his death, Vlad's legacy took on a new, mythic form. In 1897, Irish author Bram Stoker created the character of Count Dracula, inspired in part by Vlad's infamous reputation. Stoker's Dracula, a dark, blood-drinking vampire, blended the historical figure with supernatural horror, and a new legend was born. The character of Dracula became a symbol of terror, overshadowing the real-life story of Vlad the Impaler. Over time, the line between the historical Vlad and the fictional Dracula blurred, and Vlad's legacy was forever entwined with vampire folklore. In Romania, however, Vlad's story is not a tale of a vampire, but a tale of national pride. He is remembered as Vlad Tepes, or Vlad the Impaler, and celebrated as a hero who defended Wallachia from foreign domination. In towns like Sighisoara and Targovist, monuments to Vlad honor his determination and bravery. To this day, many Romanians see him not as a monster but as a symbol of strength, resilience, and resistance against overwhelming odds. Historians continue to debate Vlad's legacy. Was he a patriot, a sadist, or perhaps both? His life was a complex balance of brutality and strategy, and his actions reflect the harsh realities of his time. From history books to horror films, Vlad the Impaler's legacy lives on. His story embodies the tension between heroism and tyranny, and his mythical transformation into Dracula has immortalized him in popular culture. Vlad's life and legacy continue to captivate us, reminding us that history is often stranger and darker than fiction. So what do you think? Was Vlad the Impaler a ruthless tyrant, a courageous patriot, or something in between? His legacy invites us to question the fine line between good and evil, between power and corruption.